Hi, welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm here to help you to heal your anxiety naturally. So on today's episode, I want to show you guys why is it that you have been struggling with anxiety for such a long time. Why does it seem as if you are stuck like this, and no matter how much you try to fight it, no matter how much you try to put in the energy and the time into it in trying to overcome this thing, it seems like we're just treading on water. It seems like we're never going to get out of this situation. And I'm not saying that some days you're going to feel much better than others. No, but you want to completely get out of this situation so that you can go back to the person that you once were. And speaking from somebody as me that went through multiple anxiety disorders and overcame it, and other people that I've helped to overcome it, I've realized is that whenever I was struggling with my anxiety and whenever I speak to other people, is that a lot of us are dealing with our anxiety and trying to overcome our anxiety on a very surface level. This is the issue, because whenever you're dealing with a surface level, you might sometimes win the battle and sometimes you might lose. But the thing is that anxiety always sometimes, it just lingers over there. Yeah, you might feel good for a while, but then all of a sudden you start getting anxiety again. All of a sudden you start feeling anxious again. And all of a sudden those thoughts start to come back. Like, hey, what happened? I thought I overcame this. I thought I'm finally out of this situation. Why am I still experiencing anxiety? I just don't get it. What am I doing wrong? I'm exercising. I'm eating healthier. I am trying to control my thoughts. I'm doing certain things, but it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. Why is it? And we feel hopeless afterwards. It makes us feel hopeless because it doesn't seem like we can actually get out of this situation. And I remember seeing this post a few months ago, that says that if you ever experience an anxiety disorder once in your life, it most likely will happen again in the future. When I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's just literally taking away the hope from people and putting them in this box that, hey, it's not possible that you can overcome it. And I want to tell you that I'm not trying to tell you like all the things that you're doing is not really helping. It is, but it's not getting to the point of wherever you can overcome and completely eradicate anxiety from your life, like I have done, and I have helped other people. And when I see a post like this, I understand where they're coming from, but I completely and strongly disagree, because if we're giving the right tools, the right techniques, the right understanding, dealing with the root causes, we are able to eradicate anxiety completely from our lives and be anxiety free and be the person that we once were. I believe that's 100% possible. But the reason that a lot of us are struggling with anxiety, and we may seem like we overcame it and all of a sudden we start having it again, is because we're dealing with anxiety on a very surface level. We're not dealing with the root issues of the problem. Now, the issues that we're having over here is that whenever we're dealing on a very surface level, what happens is that, let's say, for example, we are afraid of going somewhere because it might trigger a panic attack. So we avoid the situation, right? Or even we go to that situation. We go to that place that triggers our panic attacks. So we try to reprogram our mind and telling it, hey, we are safe over here. Everything is fine. And you know what? We stop having panic attacks in those situations. But let's say later on we go to someplace else or someplace new, but you still feel anxious inside. Like, hey, what if this time I can't control the panic attacks? Or what if this time it's so strong? Or what if this time the panic attacks come back? And what if this situation is going to trigger the panic attacks? I don't know. So we're always still having those thoughts in the back of our head. How do we change that? How do we completely eradicate that from our lives so that we no longer are controlled by our anxiety and we no longer need to deal with our anxiety on a very surface level? And even with exposure therapy, which is great, by the way, it's a great thing to do, we're not reprogramming our amygdala to the place of we no longer will experience panic attack or see situations as dangerous, because whenever we are doing the exposure therapy, we are just reprogramming the amygdala in that situation that we're in, but not in other situations. And what we really need to do is reprogram the amygdala. We need to reprogram it completely so that we can go to any situation and not be afraid, or not even think about it, or not be afraid about that we may experience a panic attack. But the question is how do we do that? And I will show you guys later on in this episode in how we do that. Another example is, let's say somebody is dealing with intrusive thoughts, right? And we try to avoid the situations that trigger our intrusive thoughts that we have. We might not do certain things, talk to certain people, go to certain places because that triggers our intrusive thoughts. Or let's say we actually deal with our intrusive thoughts in a healthier way. For example, that we actually try to deal with it and understand how intrusive thoughts work and how to correctly deal with our intrusive thoughts. Like thinking, for example, that it's just air, that it's going to pass by, that you're not actually going to act on the urge, or you're not going to act on the thought. It's just a thought. It has no meaning to who you are. And we're always trying to work on it, but we're always constantly trying to fight it. That gets tiring after a while. It gets annoying. We get drained out. We're like, how much longer can I keep up with this? How much longer do I need to keep up with this? This is very annoying. This is not a way to live. Or let's say, for example, someone's afraid of going to crowded places. They try to avoid the crowded places, or they try to expose themselves more to crowded places, right? It's a very good thing that we do that on a very surface level, but we still need to deal with the root causes of the issue of why we have anxiety. You understand? So even though that they're exposing themselves to the crowded situation, but they're still constantly fighting with it. And yeah, eventually that will get much better, but then anxiety manifests into something else. It always manifests into something else. You might be dealing with one thing, you might conquer it, but all of a sudden something else comes up. And we get sick and tired of it. We're exhausted from it. I remember I was exhausted of dealing with anxiety every single day. It gets tiring. I don't want to deal with this. Why do I have to deal with DPDR every single day? And I'm always trying to fight the thoughts, and I'm always trying to figure out I remember when I was dealing with DPDR, how much I was trying to think of saying like how reality looks real and that it's not fake. But you see, I was dealing on a very surface level, and I tried to ignore the thoughts that I was having of like why I feel disconnected with myself and why I feel disconnected from others. I tried to ignore it, but I was in constant fight mode in trying to like deal with the situation, but it was getting tired. I was getting exhausted from it. And I know a lot of people do too. And I can understand the struggle, and I understand the hopelessness that most people have. So what we need to do is deal with the root causes, the root issues of the anxiety, of why we have anxiety in the first place. That is the thing that we need to deal with. Now, a lot of people might ask, what is the root cause? What is the root cause of anxiety? Why do so many people nowadays have anxiety? Why is it? Even whenever I went through it 12 years ago, it wasn't that known really around in my community and people that I've spoken to and everything. It really wasn't that known. Now, so many people today have it. So what happened? What's the difference? And I asked myself, like, what in the world happened over here? So I realized I stumbled upon, honestly, on the answer of why we have anxiety, what the root cause is. Because I thought it was what I went through in my life, the hardships that I went through in my life that created my anxiety. Yeah, it could be part of it, but it wasn't really the root cause. It wasn't really the root issue of what I was dealing with. And I stumbled upon this answer of why is it that I was struggling with anxiety and why wasn't it not going away? And I was trying to do everything. I was applying all the tools and techniques that I knew and I've discovered and I researched on, but still, like, I was still dealing with anxiety. I'm like, why is this thing not going away? So what I stumbled upon is that I realized a lot of people that deal with anxiety, we think negatively. We think negatively. We're always thinking about the negative situation. Let's say if we go someplace, like what if I have a panic attack? Or what if I faint? Or what if something bad happens? We're always thinking negatively. So number one root cause is that we're negative thinkers. We got to take from the negative to the positive. The second thing is that I realized that our confidence is low right now. If we need to pick up our confidence, this is why we always need certainty. We always need certainty all the time. We're always looking for certainty. If you realize, to make sure that everything is fine, because it's a lack of our confidence. If we are confident in knowing what would happen and knowing what we're going to do, whatever it is, we wouldn't feel that way. And I realized the third thing is that our self-esteem was down. My self-esteem was in the gutter. I didn't think I was valuable at all. And this is why we're ashamed. Some of us are ashamed that we actually experience anxiety, that we might think that we're less because we experience this, or we might think that we're weak. It has nothing to do with your worth. You are amazing. You are special. You are unique. There is only one of you in this world. And no matter what your external circumstance is, it doesn't determine your internal worth. It has no intrinsic value because everything on the external, they can always change. Things always fluctuate. They can go up and down. Now, you might think like, why in the world, what's the connection between self-esteem, self-confidence? What's the connection? Negative thinking. If you realize when you have a low self-esteem, we're always trying to please other people. We're always trying to get external approval. And that puts a lot of stress. And stress on ourselves right now, we can't handle it because our sympathetic nervous system is overloaded. It's overloaded with stress. It can no longer handle any more stress. So we're putting more stress trying to get everybody's approval or trying to always look perfect. They're always trying to be perfect. Also, confidence. We're always worried of, are we going to succeed? Are we going to get this? Are we going to be able to make it? Are we able to be fine? Are we able to get the job? And we're always worried. We're always stressed out. We're putting pressure on ourselves. And the negative thinking, if we think more positively and actually enjoy the situation that we're going to, it's going to help us to calm down our anxiety because anxiety is fear, which feeds off our negative thinking. So if you're able to deal with these 3 root causes, it helps us to overcome our anxiety permanently. If you are ready to overcome your anxiety, if you're sick and tired of dealing with this, I've created a course to help people to overcome their anxiety, where I literally take you from point A, where you're struggling with anxiety, to point B, where you're living anxiety free with no symptoms. I also am coming out with a coaching program, a live event coaching program. It's going to be an over 8-week program where it'll be with other people as well in going together and achieving the goal and overcoming your anxiety. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. If you are interested in the course or the live coaching event, the links are in the description. Check that out. If you think someone can benefit from this episode, please share this with them, because the more people that we can reach, the more people that we can help. Because again, my goal and my purpose is to help people to overcome their anxiety. That is my goal. Take care, guys, and have a great day.